Hey everybody, welcome to Always Bored Never Boring. I have a full slate at the moment, which is keeping me incredibly busy, so it's just a quick video today to go through a few acquisitions I have made for my growing HeroQuest and Advanced HeroQuest collection. As you may well know, I have set myself the challenge of gradually collecting one of every original Citadel miniature listed in the Advanced HeroQuest rulesbook, plus every miniature from the expansion Terror in the Dark and all of the White Dwarf content. It's a very expensive process and it will probably take me a lifetime to complete because I'm only picking up odd miniatures here and there when I have some free hobby cash and I see something at a decent price. Well, today I can show you two new miniatures that recently came into my possession. First of all, we have this little guy. This is a goblin and I am very lucky to have him. For two reasons really. First, I'm lucky because this was an incredibly generous gift from channel subscriber John Stanwix. He contacted me recently and asked if he could send this over, and all he wanted in return was a quick shout out for one of his favourite haunts, ProTech Games in Stockton. You can see that John has already painted this miniature. Apparently he did it a few years ago and has developed as a painter since then, but I really like this paint job. It's very crisp and clean with a very animated style of colouring with bold lining. It has a very old school vibe to it, which I really appreciate. I may even leave him exactly how he is, just touch up the paint a little here and there. Anyway, the second reason I'm lucky to have this goblin in my collection is because I was having a really hard time finding him. When I am hunting down these miniatures, I use a variety of online resources such as the Lost Minis wiki and the Stuff of Legends, but I really struggled to find anything on this guy. Lost Minis actually had an incorrect listing for him. They had him down as the leader from Grom's Goblin Guard, which is a very similar miniature from Kevin Adams, but not the same one. Meanwhile, trawling Stuff of Legends, I found the C12 goblins from 1987. In that range we can see a goblin called Stog, who has the same body as our mystery goblin, and another goblin called Twang, who has pretty much the same head. So it seemed I was looking in the right place. And then, eventually I found him on a flyer from July 1987. He's called Hugbug, and he is indeed from the range of C12 goblins. I assume he was sculpted by Kevin Adams. So yeah, this little guy has been quite elusive, but thanks to John, I managed to nab him anyway. Now, when I started collecting all of these miniatures for Advanced HeroQuest, the intention was to work through all the Skaven first, as that made sense. The core game focuses on those enemies. But the lure of awesome miniatures is too strong, so I will often just grab the ones that I really like when I see them. That's the case with the second miniature I have here, the disgustingly awesome Champion of Nurgle. I actually ended up paying £20 for this one, which is silly money for a little piece of metal, but in my defence, I really wanted it. This isn't even a miniature that appears in the rules for the core game or the expansion. It's from the White Dwarf adventure The Quest for Sona Klinger, where it appears as a Sorcerer of Nurgle. The miniature is from 1988 and it's another piece from Jess Goodwin's exceptional Champions of Chaos series. I love the old Chaos Champions. I already have a few and I'm certainly going to keep picking them up, even some that aren't part of the Advanced HeroQuest lineup. I just think they're wonderful, and I particularly have a soft spot for Nurgle. I should probably get a doctor to check that. And look at the amazing gruesome details on this. The hand hanging off the rope belt, the blade seeping something unpleasant, and the decaying face. He reminds me of the Crypt Keeper actually. This is going to be a blast to paint, eventually. And that's it for my new acquisitions for Advanced HeroQuest, but I also wanted to show you this handsome hunk of metal. This is one of Michael Perry's River Trolls from 1992. I may have shown you this before, but this was actually the first miniature I painted when I got back into the hobby after a long absence, which means I must have painted this almost 2 decades ago. Yikes. I used my first set of Army Painter paints, and I was pretty darned happy with it. What I liked about Perry's River Trolls was there were 3 bodies and 3 heads, and you could mix and match them, making it possible to create 9 trolls that each look different. I've pulled this one out of storage because he's going to take up temporary residence in my Advanced HeroQuest dungeons. As he's from 1992, he came out long after Advanced HeroQuest, which was published in 1989, but he's still pretty close to being period accurate, and he will certainly serve me well until I can pick up the older trolls I want. So there we have it, a nice new, old friend for my heroes to play with as they explore the dungeon. I'm sure that will go well for them. Oh, and not wanting to get too Columbo on you, but one more thing. If you noticed the thumbnail for this video, I did promise something new as well as something old. Well, just briefly, this little piece of awesomeness arrived at my house today. Mage of the Mirror is the most recent expansion for Hasbro's new edition of HeroQuest, and it's one I've never played, because the original version of this expansion never got released in Europe. Just look at that box art. It's a great homage to the original. So, very excited to have this. I'm going to be diving into it over the weekend, and you can expect my full opinions early next week. Also, playthroughs, so watch out for those. And that's about all I have to say for now. Thank you to the Always Bored Never Boring club members, a huge thank you to John Stanwix, and thank you everyone for taking the time to listen to me today. If you liked the video, please consider pressing the like button. If you really liked the video, please consider subscribing if you don't already do so. And hopefully, I'll see you all again very soon. Bye bye everyone, bye bye.